Hi, this is my review on Batman Year One, Mr. Cormier. It is as good as the Lego Batman film. Personally, I like the Lego Batman film movie a little more, but, so the process of this, after Bruce Wayne comes back to Gotham after being absent for 12 years and leaving Gotham after 12 years, and he comes back and, to clean up the city, but he's missing something. He has the determination, he has the strength, he has the agility, and he has the, but he's missing something. He's missing something intimidating. Something terrifying. So, months passes by, in our little, second story, and our other main character, second main character is Jim Gordon. But now he's not commissioner yet. He's new to Gotham. He comes when Bruce Wayne comes to Gotham the same day, and he feels like it's his time in hell because he feels like he's no longer a good cop, and the reason why he got transferred to Gotham as a punishment for putting a dirty cop behind bars. Then he gets into an affair and cheats on his wife who's pregnant. And then the commissioner gets evidence on him that he cheated with his wife, though he comes clean with his wife after confronting Bruce Wayne, asking him questions about his whereabouts when the Batman was around. So, he comes clean that the baby's born, and then he gets promoted as commissioner by the end, after he puts all the dirty cops behind bars. Batman has plays a little hole in that. And, I'm going to tell you the last part of the film until I tell you the rest of the Batman story, okay? So Batman is waiting for months and months and one day, one late night, when he's losing blood, he sees a Bat come into breaks into his house and it comes on to the statue of his father, and he takes it as a sign from his father from heaven. So he rings the bell of Alfred, and he next thing you know, he's suited up as Batman and making some mistakes because he hasn't quite got the hang of it yet. And he's still a rookie as Batman. This is during his rookie years as Batman. So, and these kids try to take the shit out of him, even when he's trying, just because when he's trying to save another kid, they're just trying to beat the shit out of him and hurt him really bad. And so he fights back on these fights dirty on these kids, and he saves the other kid, and he calls himself, and he says it, luck, dumb luck. Lucky amateur luck, he says in his head. And he can see that Gordon's trying to lure him out by spending nights after nights having cops having the female cop walking here, which is the same one he cheated on his wife with, and scream really loud, even so loud you can hear from the rooftop, but Batman doesn't fall for it ever. Then, when there's real trouble, when this guy fell asleep from driving because he's so exhausted and must be working some late hours, this old lady is going to get run over, and Batman risks his life and pushes the old lady out of the way. Then he gets the gun pulled down on him, and the female cop that Gordon had an affair with says freeze, and she takes her eye off of him for 1 second. He moves, and then he gets shot in the leg. And Gordon has a bit of a headache, and because he got his head hit pretty hard, so he can't get a clear shot. So he calls him for backup and saying it's Batman. So these and the commissioner, not Gordon, the commissioner who's the boss of Gordon, calls in the SWAT team. Calls in these people to blow up drop bombs in the warehouse, and then set the SWAT team in, even though Batman hasn't really hurt anyone yet, because the commissioner just wants him dead because he poses a threat as into exposing all the filth of Gotham, and that part of that filth is the commissioner, because Batman intervened while the commissioner was having dinner with all these rich, wealthy people that are feeding off of Gotham's wealth and use. And Batman crashes the party and does God knows what. It's not to scare the daylights out of the commissioner, and tells Gordon that he wants Batman dead in a body bag. So Batman survives the explosions of the bombs that they dropped in the house, and Batman blames himself because he lets things get out of hand, and too many people have died, and he survives the explosion. And then the SWAT team goes in to try to see if Batman's still alive, and they think he hit this place, but really he was hiding right behind these two SWAT members. So he takes out these two SWAT members and locks these people in the with some sort of safe to protect you from a bomb. And I guess Batman was there temporarily, but he knew when it was time to bail. So he picks up the walkie-talkie and says, the leader of the SWAT team says, "Call your men down. I cannot guarantee the safety. Too many people have died." And so Batman tranquilized one of them when he spotted and tranquilized one. Then the guy makes too much noise, and then they all see him. They all start shooting him. And you probably wonder, why didn't you see his utility belt? Well, his utility belt caught on fire in the explosion, so he had to ditch it. So he's running out of stuff to, and he called for backup by using this sonar Batwave. And he never has no comments, please. I'm saying that nicely as I can. Please withhold. I'm trying to focus, okay? If it's too loud, then you can leave the room. No one says you have to be here, okay? So, what was I? Oh yeah, Batman got this bat sonar. It's never tested from this great distance, so luckily it works. An army of bats come to back Batman up to distract the rest of the cops, and nobody can see Batman. And in the meantime, Batman was taking out a bunch of SWAT teams all at once while saving their lives, including a kitten. And all room for Batman now, and because they made a hero out of him. So then Catwoman's then Selina Kyle quits her job and quits her job as a stripper and makes her best friend quit that job also by changing careers, and she takes on the career of a burglar and gets her Catwoman costume, and she goes native. And first they think that she's Batman, then they think that she's an assistant of Batman. She just wants to get home. She just wants to get credit for homework, you know. And Batman goes to visit Falcone and scratches Falcone after Batman and Catwoman team up, and be a bunch of bad guys together. And Batman says, "Thanks for wasting my time." That's sarcasm, as because he just came all that way from nothing. But, yeah, Selina's just her plan, scratching Falcone. She figures that they won't think it's Batman if she gives the Falcone a scratch. And now they think that that's Batman's assistant. But she isn't. She's her own person. And that's as much as Catwoman gets developed in this film. That's the rest we see of her. And then Gordon gets a call from the GCPD department, even though it's late. And he goes, and then he turns around once he sees this guy on a motorcycle. He sees this one of Falcone's men, I guess. Well, he doesn't know who it is, but he just feels like that his gut's telling him something's off. But it figures that he's must be up to no good. Turns out he was wrong, but he was right to turn around, because the people who were up to no good were in a car, and the person on a motorcycle is Bruce Wayne, and 10 steps ahead about that bad guy, and figure out what the bad guy's plan was, be kidnapping a child of Jim Gordon's, and he just figured it out, I guess. So the reason why he did that, because it would stay out of the public eye, wouldn't be as public or known as big of politically saying, you know. So Gordon goes after his kid, and after saving his wife, and the wife pulls a gun on Bruce Wayne when he's not in his Batman costume. And I have a feeling she saw his face because his helmet was off, and so she lets him go after Batman says, "Mrs. Gordon, I won't let your son die. Trust me." And she trusts him, and he's going up some serious odds, because it's really exciting, and really exciting. He's using all of his acrobatic skills, and because he's off his motorcycle, he doesn't have time to get on his motorcycle, so he's using all of his acrobatic skills, and the baby falls. Then the bad guy drops the baby. While Jim Gordon, the baby comes out of the bad guy's hand while Jim Gordon's tackling the bad guy, trying to get the baby back. And then the bad guy falls off the bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, and then Jim Gordon jumps to try to get the baby, and then Bruce Wayne beat Jim Gordon to catching the baby, and he caught the baby, and he hands it to Jim Gordon, and he says thanks to Batman, and he says, and he lets him know, without my glasses, I'm practically blind, I can't see shit. So Batman smiles, and Gordon says, it sounds like the cops are coming, you better get out of here. So now he trusts Batman, and he sees that he's really a good person, and a good man, and has a good heart. And it ends with Jim Gordon narrating of all the crooked cops being brought behind bars. And now they have this other guy calling himself the Joker and terrorizing people. And she's got a friend who is Batman, is coming any minute to talk to him, Jim Gordon, who is now the commissioner. And that is Batman Year One. It is tremendously awesome. It easily gets a 10 out of 10 for me.